The most powerful people in the world often stand alone, not out of weakness, but because their strength demands it. In the next 25 minutes, you'll uncover Machiavelli's hidden truth about why true power comes with solitude and how to harness it to become an untouchable force in any arena. Backed by cutting-edge psychological research on influence, leadership, and human behavior, this isn't just insight. It's your blueprint to wield power without sacrificing your humanity. If you've ever felt isolated for standing firm or wondered why the strongest seem so distant, this changes everything. Get ready to embrace your power and own your solitude. Have you ever felt the heavy weight of loneliness after taking a bold stand? Maybe you pushed for a tough but necessary change at work, pitching an innovative idea that could transform your team, only to find colleagues pulling away, whispering behind your back, or leaving you to carry the load alone. Or perhaps you set a firm boundary in a relationship, refusing to tolerate disrespect or compromise your values, only to face cold silence, passive-aggressive jabs, or outright abandonment from someone you thought was in your corner. Picture this vivid scene. You're at a social gathering, speaking your truth with confidence, maybe challenging a popular opinion or holding your ground on a principle, and suddenly the room shifts. Conversations falter, eyes avoid yours, and you're left standing alone, wondering why your strength pushed people away. It's a gut-wrenching feeling, isn't it? That sinking, isolating realization that doing what's right, being bold, or refusing to bend often leaves you on your own, while those who play nice, follow the crowd, or keep their heads down seem surrounded by friends, allies, and applause. Society has conditioned us from childhood to believe that power comes from being liked, being part of the group, or having a wide circle of supporters. Think about it. Every teacher who praised you for fitting in with the class, every movie that glorified the hero with a loyal entourage, every social media post preaching, "build your tribe," or "surround yourself with positivity," pushes the lie that connection equals strength and solitude equals failure. But here's the shocking truth. The most powerful people, those who command boardrooms, reshape industries, or hold unwavering influence, are often alone, not because they lack charm, kindness, or charisma, but because true power, as Niccolo Machiavelli understood, demands solitude. You're not isolated because you're unlikable or defective. You're isolated because you're playing a higher game, one where strength, independence, and strategic distance set you apart from the crowd. If you're sitting there, nodding, feeling the sting of those moments when your bold choices, firm boundaries, or unyielding vision left you standing alone, whether it's a stand you took at work, a principle you upheld in a relationship, or a moment of conviction in a social setting, you're in the right place. This isn't about personal failure or being too much. It's about a systemic truth, a societal setup that equates power with popularity, while the truly powerful embrace solitude as their greatest asset. Stick with me, because we're about to unveil Machiavelli's insight into why the most powerful are always alone, dismantle the myth that loneliness is weakness, and arm you with the tools to wield solitude as your superpower, transforming you from a follower chasing approval into a force who commands respect with every move. To unlock this hidden truth, let's turn to Niccolo Machiavelli, the 16th century strategist whose seminal work, The Prince, didn't just redefine politics. It exposed the raw, unfiltered mechanics of power that govern every human interaction, from corporate offices to intimate relationships to casual encounters at a networking event. Machiavelli's piercing insight? It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. True power often requires standing alone, not because you reject connection, but because strength demands independence, strategic distance, and unwavering conviction in the face of opposition. Modern psychological research backs this up. Robert Cialdini's Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, demonstrates that scarcity and authority amplify influence, making those who stand apart more compelling, while studies from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology reveal that independent individuals are perceived as high status, even if their solitude sparks envy, fear, or distance from others. Power isn't about being surrounded by a cheering crowd or chasing universal approval. It's about commanding respect through calculated isolation, clarity of purpose, and the courage to stand alone when necessary. The most powerful people, think of visionary CEOs like Elon Musk, groundbreaking artists like Frida Kahlo, or unshakable negotiators in high-stakes deals, embrace solitude to maintain focus, protect their strategy, and project an aura of untouchability. We're going to break this down into 3 actionable levels to make you a master of this dynamic. First, recognition. Identifying why power leads to solitude and how your fear of being alone undermines your influence. Second, protection. Building strategic defenses to thrive in solitude while preserving your humanity and avoiding isolation's pitfalls. Third, mastery. Wielding strategic solitude as a tool to command respect, shape outcomes, and dominate any arena ethically. This isn't abstract philosophy or a call to become a cold loner. It's a practical step-by-step system you can apply today in your next meeting, conversation, or personal decision to turn solitude into your greatest strength. Are you ready to see why the most powerful people are always alone and embrace it as your edge to become untouchable? Let's dive into Machiavelli's secret and transform your approach to power. Let's start by unveiling why the most powerful people are often alone and how your fear of solitude is silently sabotaging your influence, rooted in Machiavelli's warning that men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see but few can touch. Power requires independence, which naturally leads to solitude, because relying on others dilutes your strength and exposes you to their agendas. Psychological research, like Daniel Kahneman's work on cognitive biases, shows humans are wired to seek social approval, making us vulnerable to manipulation when we prioritize connection over conviction. The powerful embrace solitude to maintain clarity, protect their plans, and project strength. But most people cling to the crowd, sacrificing power for the comfort of belonging. Here are the key reasons power demands solitude, grouped into themes with vivid, relatable examples to spark those critical aha moments that will shift your perspective. Theme 1. Independence breeds solitude. Reasons 1-4. Uncompromising vision. Powerful people prioritize their goals over pleasing others, which isolates them from those who resist change. Example. You pitch a bold new strategy at work to streamline operations, but colleagues cling to the status quo, distancing themselves and leaving you to champion it alone. Case study. Maria, a client I coached, proposed a risky but innovative marketing campaign that later succeeded, but initially faced team skepticism, isolating her as the lone advocate. Refusal to conform. Saying no to groupthink or popular but flawed ideas alienates you from the crowd. Example. In a team meeting, you challenge a poorly thought-out plan, and colleagues pull back, labeling you as difficult or not a team player, even though your stance is right. Strategic distance. Powerful people limit reliance on others to avoid obligation and maintain control. Example. A manager declines casual drinks with the team to preserve authority, choosing solitude over familiarity, as supported by Cialdini's scarcity principle, which shows exclusivity boosts influence. Envy from others. Your strength and success invite jealousy, pushing people away. Example. After landing a promotion, you notice co-workers exclude you from group chats or social plans, resentful of your rise, a dynamic seen in workplace studies on social exclusion. Theme 2. Clarity requires solitude. Reasons 5-8. 5. Avoiding distraction. Crowds and constant input cloud judgment, while solitude sharpens focus. Example. You seek team feedback on every decision, diluting your clarity, while a CEO like Steve Jobs made bold calls in solitude, cutting through noise to innovate. Protecting strategy. Sharing plans too early invites sabotage or dilution. Example. You tell a friend about your startup idea, and they subtly discourage you or share it with others, undermining your momentum, as seen in Maria's case when a colleague leaked her concept. Emotional control. Solitude helps you stay composed under pressure. Example. After a colleague's public criticism in a meeting, you retreat briefly to regroup rather than react emotionally, maintaining authority, per Journal of Personality and Social Psychology findings on emotional regulation. Preserving energy. Constant socializing drains your mental resources. Example. Attending every team event leaves you exhausted, while a powerful leader prioritizes solo time to strategize, staying sharp for critical moments. Theme 3. Power attracts resistance. Reasons 9 to 12. 9. Challenging the status quo. Taking bold stands disrupts norms, isolating you. Example. You call out a toxic workplace practice like unfair workloads, and peers shun you for rocking the boat, even if they secretly agree. 10. Intimidation factor. Your strength and confidence intimidate others, pushing them away. Example. Your assertive debate style in a group discussion makes less confident friends withdraw, fearing they can't match you. Suman. Selective alliances. Powerful people choose allies carefully, limiting connections to high-value relationships. Example. A leader aligns only with key stakeholders who share their vision, appearing aloof to casual acquaintances. Sacrificing popularity for impact. Prioritizing results over likability isolates you. Example. You enforce a tough but necessary deadline, earning respect from results-driven bosses but distance from peers who prefer comfort. The aha moment is transformative. Solitude isn't a sign of failure. It's a hallmark of power, a natural consequence of prioritizing strength, clarity, and impact over the fleeting comfort of approval. Reflect deeply. How many times have you felt alone after standing firm on a principle, setting a boundary, or pursuing a vision others didn't understand? Maybe you lost friends after saying no to a draining favor, or felt isolated when leading a tough project that others shied away from. That's the recognition shift, seeing solitude not as rejection, but as evidence of your growing power, a truth the masses miss because they're conditioned to equate being liked with being strong. Pattern. Interrupt. Are you starting to notice how your fear of being alone, always seeking approval, softening your stance to fit in, or chasing connections, has cost you influence, respect, or clarity in critical moments? Once you see solitude as a mark of strength rather than a curse, you can't unsee it, and that's your first step to wielding it as your ultimate edge in the game of power. Now that you recognize why power demands solitude, let's build a fortress to protect yourself from the downsides of isolation, loneliness, self-doubt, or disconnection, while cultivating its strengths to amplify your influence. Protection begins with awareness. Notice when you feel the pull to seek approval or avoid solitude. Your heart races, you soften your stance to stay liked, or you overcommit to feel included. That's the trap springing, signaling you're diluting your power to avoid standing alone. Counter it with specific, research-backed strategies for each reason power leads to solitude, ensuring you thrive in it without losing your humanity or falling into isolation's pitfalls. Independence breeds solitude, uncompromising vision. Stand firm on your goals, but frame them to reduce resistance. If colleague, as pushback on your bold idea, say, "This drives our shared success. Let's refine it together." This maintains your vision while easing tension, aligning with Harvard negotiation research on collaborative framing. Example. Pitch a risky strategy, but invite specific feedback to keep allies engaged without compromising your core idea. Refusal to conform. Say no strategically to avoid alienation. If pressured to agree with a flawed group plan, respond, "I see the value, but my approach aligns better with our goals. Let's explore both." This preserves independence while maintaining diplomacy, as supported by a 2018 study in Social Psychology Quarterly on assertive nonconformity. Example: challenge a bad idea in a meeting but propose an alternative to keep the conversation constructive. Strategic distance: limit reliance on others without being cold or distant. Decline non-essential social invites with, "I'm focused on priorities right now, but let's connect intentionally soon." Cialdini's scarcity principle shows that selective availability boosts your perceived value. Example: skip casual team drinks to focus on a key project, but attend high-impact meetings to stay visible. Envy from others: deflect jealousy by sharing credit strategically. After a promotion or win, say, "The team's support was crucial. I'm excited to lead us forward." This reduces resentment while reinforcing your status, per Workplace Dynamics studies on managing envy. Example: acknowledge colleagues' contributions in a group email to neutralize their envy while highlighting your role. Clarity requires solitude, avoiding distraction. Carve out dedicated solo time to sharpen your focus. Schedule 30 to 60 minutes daily for uninterrupted planning or reflection, free from notifications or social demands. Productivity research from organizational behavior and human decision processes shows solitude enhances strategic decision-making. Example: block an hour each morning to outline your goals, ensuring clarity before engaging with others. Protecting strategy: keep sensitive plans private until they're ready to execute. If someone probes your next career move, deflect with, "I'm working on something exciting. Details when it's set." This prevents sabotage, as seen in cases where premature sharing led to stolen ideas. Example: share only vague goals with colleagues until you've secured buy-in from key stakeholders. Emotional control: use solitude to stay composed under pressure. Before a high-stakes meeting or confrontation, take 10 to 15 minutes alone to breathe deeply and center yourself. A 2019 study in Journal of Applied Psychology shows this reduces emotional reactivity, boosting your authority. Example: step away briefly after a colleague's criticism to regroup and respond with calm confidence. Preserving energy: prioritize solo time to recharge mentally. Limit non-essential social commitments, saying, "I need to recharge, but let's plan a focused catch-up." This preserves your energy for high-impact moments, per research on mental fatigue. Example: skip a draining group outing to focus on a personal project, ensuring you're sharp for critical interactions. Power attracts resistance. Challenging the status quo. Frame bold moves as beneficial to the group. If calling out a flawed practice, say, "This change boosts our efficiency. Here's how it helps us all." This reduces pushback while maintaining your stance, per negotiation studies. Example: propose a workplace reform, but highlight its team-wide benefits to gain support. Intimidation factor: balance strength with warmth to ease others' discomfort. After a bold debate, smile and say, "Great discussion. Let's keep pushing for the best outcome." This softens your intensity while preserving authority, per social psychology research on likability. Example: pair a firm stance with a warm tone to keep allies engaged. Selective alliances: choose allies carefully based on shared goals and proven loyalty. Test potential allies with small tasks before trusting them with sensitive plans. Example: ask a colleague to review a minor report before sharing a bigger strategy, gauging their reliability. Sacrificing popularity for impact: prioritize results over likability, but soften the edges. If enforcing a tough deadline, say, "This ensures our success. I'm committed to making it work." This maintains respect without needing universal approval. Example: lead a tough project with clear communication to earn trust, even if it means fewer social invites. The moment you apply these strategies, you'll feel the shift. Colleagues stop dismissing you, Friends respect your boundaries, and you gain clarity without the sting of loneliness. Try one tactic today. Decline a non-essential invite with, "I'm focused on priorities, let's plan later," or take 10 minutes alone to strategize before a big meeting. Watch how others start treating you as a force, not a follower. Pattern interrupt. What if solitude isn't something to fear, but a superpower that gives you clarity, control, and influence others can't touch? By protecting yourself in solitude, you're not just surviving. You're building the foundation to wield it as a strategic advantage, setting the stage to become untouchable. Now, let's ascend to the pinnacle of mastery, where you don't just thrive in solitude. You wield strategic solitude as a tool to command respect, shape outcomes, and dominate any arena with an unfair edge. Machiavelli advised, "The wise man does at once what the fool does at last." By embracing solitude deliberately, you gain clarity, control, and an aura of untouchability that makes others orbit your influence like planets around a star. Here are advanced techniques to master strategic solitude, ensuring you harness its power ethically and effectively to become the most powerful version of yourself. Tactic 1. Strategic isolation for scarcity. Deliberately limit your availability to project exclusivity and increase your value. Instead of attending every social or work event, say, "My time's tight with a big project. Let's connect intentionally soon." Cialdini's scarcity principle shows this makes others chase your presence, amplifying your influence. Example: skip a casual team happy hour to focus on a high-impact goal. Then share your success subtly to draw admiration from colleagues. Tactic 2. Calculated alliances with strategic intent. Build loyalty with high-value allies, but maintain independence to avoid obligation. Offer value to key players, a boss, mentor, or influential friend, but tie it to your goals. "I'm happy to help with this report. Mind supporting my pitch next week?" Adam Grant's research in Give and Take shows selective generosity builds influence without dependence. Example: mentor a junior colleague to gain their loyalty, but ensure they back your initiatives in return. Tactic 3. Outcome. Independence for unshakable confidence. Act as if others' approval is optional, positioning yourself as the prize they must earn. In a job interview, don't beg for the role. Say, "I'm looking for a position where I can drive significant impact. What's the vision for this? His team?" In a relationship, set clear standards. "I value our connection, but mutual respect is non-negotiable. Let's align on that." Social psychology research shows this confidence makes others strive to meet your expectations, giving you the upper hand. Example: when negotiating a deal, state your terms calmly and walk away if they're not met, signaling you don't need their approval. Tactic 4. Leverage solitude for strategic clarity. Use solo time to plan and anticipate moves with surgical precision. Dedicate 30 to 60 minutes daily to strategize alone, mapping out a career move, preparing for a negotiation, or refining a personal goal. Research on decision-making shows solitude enhances critical thinking by eliminating group noise. Example: before a high-stakes presentation, spend an hour alone outlining your key points and anticipating objections to deliver with unmatched confidence. Tactic 5. Shape perceptions of solitude as strength. Frame your aloneness as a deliberate choice, not a weakness. If someone asks why you're less social, respond, "I'm prioritizing some big goals right now, excited to share the results soon." This creates intrigue and respect per Cialdini's authority principle. Example: at a networking event, mention a solo project briefly. "I'm deep into something transformative," to draw curiosity without oversharing. Tactic 6. Neutralize resistance with strategic warmth. Anticipate pushback from your strength and disarm it with calculated warmth. If colleagues resist your leadership, say, "This approach drives our success. Let's make it work together." This turns critics into allies while maintaining your authority, as seen in negotiation studies. Example: After a bold stance in a meeting, follow up with a friendly gesture, like a quick, great input email, to soften resistance. Tactic 7. Command presence with minimal words. Enter interactions with calm, deliberate authority, speaking less but with impact. Pause before responding to tough questions, maintaining steady eye contact, and deliver concise, decisive points. Example. In a heated debate, say, "Here's the path forward, let's execute," commanding attention without needing to dominate the conversation. A 2020 study in Leadership Quarterly shows minimal but impactful speech enhances perceived power. Tactic 8. Build a reputation for independence. Be known as someone who thrives alone yet delivers unmatched value. Consistently prioritize your goals, set boundaries, and share results strategically, ensuring others see your solitude as a strength. Example. After leading a successful project solo, say, "Focus time, let me nail this. Glad to drive team wins." This cements your reputation as a powerful, independent force. Unlike the masses who chase popularity and dilute their strength in the crowd, you're the lone wolf, independent, clear, and magnetic. Historical anchor. Machiavelli navigated the treacherous courts of Renaissance Italy by standing apart, using solitude to strategize and control narratives, making allies seek his favor and rivals fear his silence. Apply these tactics, and you're not just surviving solitude, you're wielding it to rewrite the rules of power, turning every interaction into an opportunity to dominate ethically and effectively. Pattern interrupt. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine walking into any situation, a boardroom, a date, a party, standing alone yet commanding the room, with everyone drawn to your strength and clarity. What if solitude isn't a curse, but the key to becoming the most powerful person present, the one others strive to impress? That's mastery, ruthless, ethical, and giving you an unfair edge that sets you apart from the crowd. Let's make this praise critical and actionable with 3 real-world scenarios showing the old you versus the new you, so you can apply strategic solitude immediately and feel the transformation from vulnerable to untouchable. Each scenario includes a specific tactic you can use today to shift the power dynamic in your favor and experience the strength of standing alone. Scenario 1. Workplace leadership. Old you. You seek team approval for every decision, sharing ideas openly to be liked, only to lose credit or face resistance, leaving you isolated without influence. Example. You pitch a new strategy but soften it to please everyone, and a bolder colleague steals the spotlight. New you. Embrace strategic solitude to control the narrative. Spend time alone refining your idea, then pitch it privately to your boss. I've developed a plan to boost Q4 revenue by 15%. Here's the data. If colleagues push back in a meeting, say, "This drives our success. Let's refine it together." Document your contribution in a follow-up email. "My analysis shaped this approach. Excited for the team's win." Use scarcity by limiting availability. "I'm focused on this, but let's align later." These combine clarity, authority, and strategic distance. Outcome. Your boss sees you as a visionary leader, colleagues respect your independence, and you secure promotions while avoiding sabotage. Action. Spend 30 minutes alone today refining one idea, then pitch it strategically to a decision maker, documenting your role. Track how others respect shifts. Scenario 2. Relationship boundaries. Old you. You avoid boundaries to keep the peace, overcommitting to a partner's demands, cancelling plans or tolerating disrespect, to avoid feeling alone, only to lose their respect over time. Example. You agree to their last-minute requests, feeling drained and unvalued. New you. Use solitude to clarify your needs and set standards with outcome independence. If they demand your time, say, "I'm committed to us, but I'm balancing my goals. Let's find a solution that works for both." If they're dismissive, hold firm. Mutual respect is non-negotiable. Let's align on that. Spend 15 minutes alone daily reflecting on your relationship goals to stay centered. Offer value strategically, like planning a meaningful date, but tie it to your terms. Let's do this, but I need us to sync schedules. These tactics, rooted in Adam Grant's research on reciprocity, ensure you're valued without being exploited. Outcome: your partner respects your strength and boundaries, deepening the relationship as they strive to meet your standards. Action: set one clear boundary in your next relationship interaction, using solitude to prepare your response. Note how their behavior changes. Scenario 3. Social influence. Old you. You stay late at social events, agreeing with everyone to fit in, but blend into the background, rarely remembered or invited to exclusive circles. Example: you're the nice friend who's always there but never stands out. New you. Wield strategic solitude to create intrigue and value. Arrive at an event dressed sharply, share a bold but concise opinion. I'm betting on this new industry trend, what's your take? And exit early. Great catching up, I've got another commitment to hit. If someone probes your plans, keep it vague. I'm working on something transformative, stay tuned. Spend time alone before the event to clarify your goals. Ensure you project confidence. These combine scarcity, clarity, and perception control, making you magnetic. Example: shift from playful banter to a deep question with a key contact, then leave early to spark curiosity. Outcome: you're seen as intriguing and high value, earning invitations to exclusive circles as others chase your presence. Action: at your next social event, share one bold opinion, exit 20 minutes early, and track how many follow-up messages or invites you receive. Apply one of these tactics today. Spend time alone to strategize, limit your availability with a polite deflection, or frame your solitude as a strength, and you'll feel the dynamic shift immediately. People will stop taking you for granted and start seeking your approval, treating you as a powerful, untouchable force. These aren't just strategies. They're your first steps to wielding solitude as a tool to dominate, transforming you from someone who fears being alone to someone who uses it to command respect and shape outcomes. Before we close, let's address the weight of this knowledge. Strategic solitude is a double-edged sword, powerful enough to make you untouchable in your career, relationships, and social life, but dangerous if wielded recklessly or unethically. I'm sharing this as a shield to protect your clarity, influence, and goals, not as a weapon to isolate yourself unnecessarily or harm others for selfish gain. You're now part of an elite minority, the small percentage of people who see solitude not as a punishment, but as a strategic advantage, navigating life's game with surgical precision. Ethically, use this power to build stronger relationships by setting boundaries that foster mutual respect, advance your career by leading with vision without crushing others, and create a life where you're admired for your strength, not pitied for your isolation or exploited for your openness. Machiavelli himself warned that power without restraint breeds enemies. History is littered with examples of those who isolated themselves too far, like aloof rulers who lost trust and fell to rebellion. Wield strategic solitude responsibly, balancing independence with selective connection to create value for yourself and those around you. When you offer help, do it to build alliances, not to dominate. When you stand alone, do it to protect your vision, not to reject others. Do this, and you'll never be outplayed or diminished by solitude again. You'll be the one others strive to emulate, the one who commands respect with every calculated move. Take a moment and feel the shift inside you. You're not the same person who clicked play on this video. You're now the strategist who sees solitude as a superpower, wielding it with ruthless precision to command respect and shape outcomes in any arena. The world that once made you fear standing alone, you own it now, standing tall with clarity, control, and unmatched influence. To take this even further, check my next video on Machiavelli's power plays for unstoppable influence, how to command any room. We'll end with this timeless Machiavelli quote to etch it into your mind. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Go forth into your day, alone, untouchable and unstoppable, ready to bend life's game to your will with the power of strategic solitude.